Hi, my name is Jessica Barclay, the current Middlesex Galaxy, and today I'm going to be telling you about the Truth About Beauty Queens mini-series and the fantastic giveaway of a copy of this wonderful book, Good Morning, Good Life, which is my favourite book on morning routines.
Welcome to Pageant Land, the UK's premier podcast for all things pageantry, with your host Jessica Barclay. Here you'll find guest experts, past, present and future queens, plus my own personal insights into what it's like to follow your pageantry dreams. So whether you're hitting the stage for the first time, looking to up your game, or even after some inspiration to follow your own dreams, I hope you will find something here for you. I'll ask the questions you're too embarrassed to and get real about the highs and lows of pageantry. If you enjoy this episode, please give us a share on social and pop me a review on iTunes. Now strap on those heels and let's get into it because we have a lot to cover.
Hello, and welcome back. This is the launch episode of this amazing mini-series that I'm going to be running over on the podcast, but I also wanted to do video with it as well. Bit of the fact that we're stuck in quarantine, and I really wanted to give a bit more of a platform to our national title holders, many of which haven't competed yet at their internationals, sort of in this limbo with whether and when their internationals are going to happen. So I really wanted to give a bit more of a platform to them and their voice, and I thought it would be really, really fun to have some get-to-know episodes. They're not the kind of episodes we normally do on the Pageant Land podcast. We normally have a topic. We're normally about like helpful advice, and there is some helpful advice definitely in these episodes, but I wanted to get more into the person behind the title as well. So yes, super excited to be sharing this series with you. The whole series that's going to be coming out over May and June was filmed in one day, because anyone who knows me knows I don't like putting makeup on, particularly on myself. Patrick and Duncan were nowhere to be seen in my house, so I had to do it myself, which is really disappointing, but never mind. So we've got those episodes, but I thought it'd be really fun to kick off with me giving you my answers to the questions that I'm going to ask them, and also tell you about our giveaway. One of the questions I ask is, what's your morning routine? And many people know I'm a little bit obsessed with morning routines, starting your day right. I am a planner, an organizer, a time management addict. It's something I've taught with my work a lot. The benefits of sleep as well, massively respect for that. Love sleep. But life for me does start with having a good morning and a good routine with your morning in place. Many highly successful people will talk about having the successful morning routine in place. So that's why I'm quite so passionate about it. So I thought it would be a perfect time to give away a copy of this. You're not having this copy. This is my lovely signed copy. It's written by a lady called Amy Landino, who also runs Amy TV on YouTube and shares some amazing advice on there as well. So I highly recommend that, if anything along the lines of like living your best life. Her catchphrase is, go after the life you want. Who does not want to do that? So check out her YouTube channel as well, which is youtube.com/AmyTV. And yeah, so you can enter the competition to win this book simply by commenting on the promo post for this series on the Instagram. It's the easiest way for me to collect all the entries in one place. So pop over to the Instagram, look for the promo post for this episode, and simply comment on it to be entered into the chance, and then I will draw at random someone to win a copy of this book. I love this book. I think you'll probably be seeing it backwards, sorry. It's called Good Morning, Good Life, and then it has a beautiful lemon at the bottom. But I don't know if this flips the recording, so you might be seeing it backwards, sorry. Need to get better at things like that, but hey. So I'm going to go through the questions that all of the people have been asking. So the question one is, how long have you been competing in pageants? Is what I've asked everyone. For me, I signed up in 2014, competed for the first time in 2015, and I had a little gap while I had my daughter. So I've done 4 pageants over the 5 years. I did 2 in 2015, 1 in 2016, and then 2020 was my return post baby. I think it's really nice to see how long people have been competing before they get to the title that they wanted to, which is why I wanted to have this question in there, because people's journeys are very different, and you'll see the variety across the length of time people have been competing in pageants. You see the variety across the different interviews, and I think the general theme there is don't give up. Question 2 is, what's your favorite part of competing? For me, it is the planning and the prep and all the appearances and the charity work. I do love the on stage. I get really bad stage fright, which is really funny for a public speaker. I'd much rather get up on stage and talk. Like, if you give me a microphone and asked me to do a speech, much happier than getting up and like doing the walk side of things. Like, that's really me pushing myself out of my comfort zone, but for good reasons. So I do love the onstage stuff, but I definitely, the preparation and all the planning, charity work, the community work, the campaigns is my massive happy place. And I think it's really nice to see from different people like which bit sparks the most joy in them and how people really connected with pageants. Question 3, how would you describe your onstage style? So I'm very happy in a 2-piece bikini. I don't want my bum on show, so I wouldn't wear a thong, and I do spray hairspray under the edge of my bikini and try and stick it down. It doesn't always behave itself, but I try to. I'm not going to wear a thong bikini. But also I'm like, if it's low cut, I wouldn't wear a high split, and that's just my personal choice. I like my fashion wear to cover a certain amount. Now, it's not because I'm fine in a 2-piece, so I'll have loads of skin showing there, but also kind of, I'd worked really hard on my body for Galaxy, and this one just didn't. It was like my post-baby like deadline to really like push myself because I wanted to, not because I felt like I had to for a pageant. It's very much a personal journey. But swimwear was after fashion wear, so I kind of also wanted to save some of what I'd worked really hard on for swimwear. But also looking at next year, I'm still gonna go more covered up. I don't, on me, want to wear a fashion wear that could also be a big swimsuit, which I do see a lot, and people look fantastic on it and they rock it, and this isn't necessarily a negative against them. It's just not what I want to have as part of my style. I like something that's like a bit more classic pageant, not a classic pageant, that's wrong, classic but still pageant. So a bit more demure, maybe. Like, people have said you've got amazing legs, why don't you do high splits? But I did short shorts for opening number. I don't want to wear a short skirt in opening number because of the dance, and you don't know what dance you're going to get, and the eyeliner of the judges. But I've got great legs, so I made sure that it still covered a fair bit, but it was short so I could make the most of my legs. But then I've kind of shown my legs. I've done that bit. I want the rest of my outfits representing. So I'm probably, can lean more towards the demure. Don't know if demure is quite the right word, but hopefully you're getting what I mean. Question 4, how would you describe your offstage personal style? Comfy, classic, and block colour. I've done a bit of alliteration there. Things have to be comfy for me. I can't handle like even like a tiny label itching me or anything like that. I hate wearing bras, hate boning and things, anything like that. I'm just like, I need to be comfy first and foremost. Classic, much more likely to pick dresses with like a classic cut, with like a higher neckline if they're shorter. This, you can't see this dress, but this is a shorter dress, so it's got a higher neckline. If I've got a lower neckline, I'm likely to be in something longer. And same, I'm not going to wear a v-neck and short shorts that are like a low v-neck and short shorts. That's just not my style. And I'm saying block colours. This is quite a big print, but the only reason I actually have this dress is because it matches one my daughter has. But this is kind of as patterny as I go. I'm not really like many little patterns. The majority of my clothes are like block colours. And a big part of that, I think, is because I spend a lot of time on camera, and little patterns can go a bit funny on cameras sometimes. So I'm kind of like looking at my wardrobe now, but apart from the sequins that I can see, it's a lot more like block colours. What's my morning routine like? So this is what sparked the whole book giveaway. At the moment, I get up, teeth, wash, face, that kind of things, and I air my bed. So I make my bed, but with the duvet opened out. Open all my curtains, make my smoothie, apple cider vinegar shot, and make my pre-workout. I drink my smoothie. I have some BCAA supplements that I'll have then as well. And then I sometimes might do a little bit of work or read or something to fill that sort of 10 minutes to let my smoothie go down. And then I'll have my pre-workout while I'm getting ready to go for my run. I do a run. 100 squats at the moment because I'm doing a 100 squat challenge. 100 squats, 2 dancey numbers, which are going to be the warm-ups for an event I'm teaching fitness thing at later in the year, hopefully. And then I do a workout after all of that. And then I will have my porridge, a big glass of water with this collagen supplement in it that I love called Skin Aid, and the rest of my supplements that I take. I've had my blood tested, which is what I base my supplements off, and then also based on what I know that humans with just generally are deficient in, like B12. Majority of humans are deficient in B12, so I have B12, and then from my blood tests I have iron, vitamin D, I think that's it. Iron, vitamin D, B12. Oh, magnesium, which helps my sleep. I really notice the difference if I don't have magnesium supplement that helps my sleep. So I'll do a box of probiotic supplements, like tablet ones. The boxes usually last about a week. No, I'm lying. Usually last about a month, and then I'll have like a couple of weeks off. And then I'll do them again and have a couple of weeks off. And I really notice just general improvement in like my skin, my energy, my mental state, everything by having that circle of probiotics in there. Those are based on a lot of research, being knowledgeable in the health and fitness industry, and actually I had my blood tested for deficiencies and what I needed. So don't just willy-nilly start taking supplements you don't necessarily know you need. Please seek medical advice with that one. And then I'm into my day with my kids. So it's quite a long morning routine. Outside of lockdown, there's a lot of similarities, but I'll get up a lot earlier. At the moment I'm able to get up about 6:45, and normally I'd be getting up at like 5 to do everything before we've got to be at the places we've got to be at when lockdown isn't happening. 6, how do I like to stay healthy? All the things. I'm very passionate about looking after my health. I think as a Christian, it's respectful of God who gave me life. As a human being on planet Earth, I think me staying healthy means that I'm there to look after my daughter and my partner and my family, and means I've got the energy to do all the things that I want to do. The healthy diets are often much nicer to the environment because you're eating real proper foods. I very much believe, there was a program I watched the other day and he summed it up really nicely, but it was something along the lines of eat food, not too much, mainly plant-based. And that was his summary of a healthy diet. And I totally believe in that. We're transitioning to be predominantly plant-based and vegan. I guess we're dropping a lot more non-edible animal products as well now. And that's not just our physical health, but also the health of the planet. And then I work out loads. There's no question in that. Pre-lockdown, I was 8 sessions a week. I love training. I love challenging my body. I've really got into my running again. I would like to do a marathon one day. I would like to do the 3 peaks in 24 hours challenge. One year when I have a title, I'm saving that as like I have a crown treats to do the 3 peaks. And I would also like to do some Spartan races. My personal trainer, I'm not seeing at the moment, I miss you, Charles, is an elite Spartan racer. I interviewed him for the podcast, and I'd really love, he does like 24-hour ones. I think I'll start with one of the 5Ks, but a 24-hour race with obstacles sounds awesome. And I'm not sure I'm physically capable yet, not to the extent I'd want to be doing it. Like, you can do so much when you're in the situation, you just get on with it, but I'd like to enjoy it a little bit. So I'm not ready for that yet, but would like to do that anyway. So I'm pushing my body in lots of different ways. I lift heavy. I use a lot of plyometrics and functional base training. I normally do a fight camp, which is boxing, but boxing for sport-specific boxing training as opposed to boxing for fitness, which I actually teach. I use boxing elements when I teach fitness, but I go to a class to learn more the sport-specific elements, because it challenges my mind as well as my body. We love all of that. I'd like to get my swimming going. I feel like it'd be really fun to also be a strong swimmer, but I find swimming really boring, so I need to find some waterproof headphones. I can't do any exercise without music, basically, and maybe that's why I find swimming so dull. What's been the biggest lesson I've learned from pageantry? I think it's been belief in myself. I was very down on myself and my ability to do anything. And although I was a massive planner of events that involved other people planning for my life, I found hard because I didn't believe I was capable or worthy of anything. And I've really learned that through pageantry, that I am capable, and that I am worthy, which is really nice. It's nice to know you're worthy of good things, which I definitely got from pageantry. What's the biggest goal I'd like to achieve within my lifetime? So I have this book here, which is my Dream is Real. And every day I write my, I'm not kind of trying to show you without showing you. I write out my 10 life goals for what I'd like to achieve in my life. Now, some of them aren't super specific. Representing Galaxy at the international finals is one of them. Being an amazing wife and mother, strong relationship with God, having a strong toned, healthy body, living in my beautifully decorated dream home, running a successful company, being a sought-after public speaker, having 2 King Charles Spaniels, a best-selling book, and having excess money. And I write them out every morning as if they'd already happened, which is just, for me, such a magical mindset shift. So I guess my biggest goal for my life is to achieve all of those things. The biggest thing I'd want to achieve in my lifetime. What 3 words would your friends and family use to describe you? I had to put this in an interview, so I asked people on Facebook, and now I've forgotten. I think generous comes up quite a lot. Unfortunately, not so much financial wise at the moment, but with my time and ability and willingness to help other people, particularly when it comes to anything self-development, because I would much rather teach someone to be able to do it themselves than just do it for them. But I do believe that I'm the sort of person that goes above and beyond and helping people. So yeah, generous with predominantly my time would be one of them. Oh, this is really hard. I can't remember what they said. One was wear your heart on your sleeve, but that's not really a word. But yeah, and vulnerable, I guess that could translate like that. And for me, family is everything, be it my pageant family, my Galaxy family specifically, or my like actual family of three who I absolutely adore with every fibre of my being. So yeah, I feel like family is, although not a descriptive word, does describe me fairly well. What's your favourite post-pageant treat meal? The problem is the kind of treat meal I want is never like available, and then I end up eating food I don't really want to eat. I'm gonna take a lot more pre-prepared food next time. I took it for everything up to and including day of competition, but not the evening after, like the same night once you finish competing. I didn't take any stuff for me then, but now we're going like plant-based more. Like I would have one day where I'd have meat, so I made that the day like from competition onwards. I had a couple of meat days. Be bad. It's been a long day. So it's kind of quite, I guess when we came back, it'd been my birthday in like a couple of weeks before competition. So I didn't want to splurge for my birthday in the run up to competition, and we were going to have it once we came back. And then obviously we kind of went into lockdown situation. But I had ordered my birthday cake. So I had a vegan red velvet cake from Hummingbird Bakery, and it was amazing. So although it's not quite a meal, we had Chinese with it as well, but the cake was the bee's knees. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. Vegan red velvet cheesecake from the Hummingbird Bakery. I just don't think it would last in the car if I brought it up to Galaxy. Definitely have to order one for like when I get back again next time. If you could be remembered for just one thing as a title holder, what would it be? I think helping other people achieve their pageant goals, and that's a big part of why I started the podcast, is wanting to help other people grow within the industry. And yeah, so someone that helped the industry and the contestants within it grow. Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. Sticking with that answer. If you could change one thing about the pageant industry in the UK, what would it be? This is so hard because as someone that's still competing and hasn't hit the dream title yet, you do get that little bit of people going, well, who are you to have an opinion on it when you haven't won yet? And also that worry that you'll accidentally offend someone that ends up judging you, being a judge at a later date, always worries me if I speak out about stuff too much. But obviously many of you will have heard my opinions on appearances and trying to have a lot more quality in your appearance folder, and really trying to pick appearances that align with you, your platform, that make a difference to your system, that make a difference to your platform, that make a difference to charity, that make a difference to your community, that actually make a difference. Some of the things that people classify as appearances, particularly in the older categories, I just think we can do better. Come on, girls, we can do better. So that, I guess, is one thing. But the bigger one for me, I think, is probably platform. Is the majority of the UK systems don't have a platform requirement. But I think if we want the industry to grow, we need people to see more benefit in competing. And for me, a lot more benefit comes when you have a platform, a specific platform, not a wishy-washy, I support everything. Because of course we do. Of course we all care about the environment, and we all care about mental health, and we all care about anti-bullying. We all care about all of those things. But what's the one you're going to put most of your weight behind? Because of course you do loads of different areas as a contestant and as a title holder, but business after business has proven that to make a bigger impact, and I know we're not businesses, but it's the same principle, to make a bigger impact you need to have your main focus, and then you do all the offshoots, but you have your one big main focus. And that for me is where the power and importance of having a platform comes from, which is what I teach with Pageant Land coaching. I do the game plan, where helping people set out their plan for competing, and then we do the specific one, which is about purpose in pageantry, and fine-tuning your platform and what it is you're going to do, and starting to work on all the elements that you're going to do as part of your platform promotion. So unsurprising, I'm pretty passionate about platforms. Where am I? How would you like to make the world a better place? Oh, I would like the world to be a better place by more people being willing to invest in self-development. I think it's massively underestimated still. We still associate it with like Bridget Jones's Diary, where she's like mocking all the books that she bought and then threw in the bin without reading. But actually, had she read a lot of those books she threw in the bin, she'd have been much better off. So maybe she should have just read the books. There's so much you can gain from self-development and being willing to go out and research. Like someone that works in the health and fitness industry, I find it very frustrating that people don't seem to give two hoots about their fitness. We'll complain and moan that the NHS is underfunded, but we won't reduce the burden on the NHS by looking after our own health. Like, how does that make sense? So if you're willing to work on your own self-development and like making sure that your mind and body healthy and doing your best in the world, then obviously the world will become a better place if we're all making sure that we sorted out, sort out your own house first, and then you're putting out better into the world. There's many catchphrases in there somewhere. So the next question I asked all the interviews that I did were either going to internationals, been to internationals. So I asked them what they were looking forward to most, or what they were looking forward to most about internationals. I have never been to the US. It's definitely one of the things that appeals to me with Galaxy, is that the finals are in the US. However, that might not always be the case. So it might have been one of the reasons why I signed up, but if they change that for a future year, it's not going to stop me wanting to work hard for the Galaxy title anyway. But yeah, I guess going and representing the UK, that's what it says in my goals book. If I want to represent the UK at the Galaxy International Finals, that's the very specific goal. So it's, if they dropped having an international, then that would be something I'd massively question, because I want to go represent the UK. So that would definitely be the thing I would look forward to most when I finally get the opportunity to do internationals. And then where can you find me on social media? So you know all the Pageant Land stuff by now. We're at Pageant Land Online on Instagram and Facebook. But if you want my personal social media, I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jessica A. Barclay. So there's an extra A, Jessica, and then an extra A for Alice, at Jessica A. Barclay for Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think even TikTok. I didn't post on TikTok very much. I tried. It was quite fun briefly, and then I realised how much I had to do and how much I wasn't getting done because I was doing TikToks, and that's just not me. So that went out the window quite quickly. I might post some other bits, but I don't like editing on the phone. No. So there you go. That's my series of questions that I'm going to be asking all the pageant interviews that I've got coming up in this series, The Truth About Beauty Queens. So I hope it's got you a bit excited to hear the answers from the other contestants. Don't forget to head over to Instagram for your chance to win a copy of Good Morning Good Life, which is coming. I'm giving away a copy to celebrate this lovely little mini series that will be coming out over May and June, and get us through the early starts of summer, alongside all the normal episodes that we get with the podcast. So there'll still be all the advice-based episodes coming out too. This is just an additional one. And thank you so much, guys. Remember, please pop over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating and review. It really, really makes a massive difference to helping me grow the podcast and reaching more girls that maybe don't even know about pageantry yet and don't even know that they want to do pageants yet. So let's help grow the community, and you can do that by taking that little step to give me a a 5-star rating and review today.
Thank you for joining me today. I value and appreciate your time so much. It's wonderful you've given some of it to this episode. Please rock on over to our Facebook or Instagram and share your thoughts. And I would love you to give this episode a share while you're there. For any specific links, check the show notes or rock on over to our website, pageantlandpodcast.com, for more information about the podcast or how you can be a guest on a future episode. Have an amazing day, and remember, you sparkle your brightest when you're being yourself. See you soon.